Windows. Windows is the most widely used operating system on the planet, developed by Microsoft. It first launched back in 1985 as Windows 1.0, and initially it was just a graphical shell running on top of MS-DOS. The interface was super basic in the beginning, but over the decades, Windows evolved into a complete operating system with landmark releases like Windows 95, XP, 7, 10, and now Windows 11. What really sets Windows apart is its flexibility and broad compatibility. It works on pretty much any laptop or PC brand and can be used for everything from intense gaming to programming and everyday office work. Plus, it's beginner-friendly, thanks to its familiar interface. But it's not perfect. Windows often demands a lot from your system, which can slow down older hardware. It's also infamous for frequent system updates, sometimes helpful, but often annoying, especially when they lead to issues like update loops. Security is another weak spot. Since it's the most popular OS, it's also the biggest target for malware and viruses. And of course, there's the dreaded blue screen of death, a problem that's been around since day one: Linux. Linux isn't just one OS. It's a family of open-source operating systems known as distributions, or distros. It was started in 1991 by Linus Torvalds, a Finnish developer who wanted to create a free alternative to commercial operating systems. Unlike Windows or macOS, Linux can run on minimal hardware, making it ideal for older PCs and high-performance servers. It's also extremely secure and fully customizable since the source code is open to everyone. That's why there are so many Linux distros. Some, like Ubuntu or Fedora, are user-friendly, while others like Debian or CentOS are built for enterprise use. Linux dominates in areas like programming, cybersecurity, and web servers. In fact, many of the world's biggest platforms, like Facebook, Google, and even NASA, rely on Linux servers. But Linux isn't always beginner-friendly. Its interface and structure are quite different from Windows or macOS, and many versions rely heavily on command-line input. On top of that, software compatibility is a problem. Most mainstream apps and games are built for Windows or macOS, so you'll often need to find alternatives. macOS. macOS, created by Apple, made its debut in 2001 as the official operating system for Mac computers. Unlike Windows, which runs on machines made by various companies, macOS is exclusive to Apple's hardware, like MacBooks and iMacs. This tight integration between software and hardware results in a smoother, more stable experience. macOS is a favorite among creative professionals, including video editors, musicians, and designers, thanks to built-in tools like Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, and GarageBand. Another major perk is how well it works with other Apple devices. If you own an iPhone or iPad, you can easily sync messages, calls, files, and more. The OS doesn't force annoying updates, rarely crashes, and is generally power efficient. However, the catch is the high cost. You're locked into Apple's expensive ecosystem. macOS also isn't ideal for gamers, since it lacks support for DirectX and powerful GPUs, and some specialized software either isn't available or has limited functionality compared to Windows versions. ChromeOS. ChromeOS is Google's answer to a fast, simple, and cloud-focused operating system. It first appeared in 2011 and is built primarily for people who live online. Unlike traditional OSs, ChromeOS is made for web apps and online services. It comes pre-installed on Chromebooks, lightweight, affordable laptops designed for basic tasks like browsing, email, and online document editing. It boots up quickly, updates silently in the background, and has solid security thanks to its cloud-first design. Files are saved on Google servers rather than the device, minimizing the risk of viruses and data loss. You also get access to the Google Play Store, meaning you can run Android apps too. However, ChromeOS isn't for everyone. Without an internet connection, many features become unusable. It doesn't support advanced software like full Photoshop or high-end video editors. Gaming is also limited, unless you rely on cloud gaming platforms, which again require fast internet. And forget about multitasking with resource-heavy apps. ChromeOS isn't built for that. iOS is Apple's mobile OS, powering iPhones. It's a closed system, meaning only Apple devices can use it. But that gives Apple total control over both the software and the hardware. iOS is known for its stability and long-term support. Even older iPhones keep receiving updates for several years. The App Store is full of polished apps, and many developers prioritize iOS due to its strong user base and reputation for higher app revenue. Another plus is the seamless integration with Apple's ecosystem. Whether it's syncing with a Mac, sharing files with AirDrop, or controlling your Apple Watch, it all just works. On the downside, iOS is restrictive. You can't customize the interface much, sideload apps, or easily transfer files outside of Apple's ecosystem. There's no expandable storage, no headphone jack on most models, and iPhones are pricey. Apple is also known to reuse hardware designs for multiple generations, which can be frustrating for users looking for something new. Android. Android is the world's most used mobile operating system. It was developed by Google and is based on open-source principles, allowing brands like Samsung, OnePlus, and Xiaomi to use and customize it. What makes Android exciting is the level of personalization it offers. You can change themes, use third-party launchers, and tweak nearly every aspect of the interface. The Google Play Store is packed with millions of apps and games, and the OS runs on everything from affordable phones to flagship devices with top-tier specs. Still, Android has its flaws. Many devices don't receive regular updates, which can hurt performance and create security risks. There's also the issue of bloatware, pre-installed apps you often can't remove. And while Android is powerful, some apps don't run as smoothly as they do on iOS due to differences in optimization. UNIX. UNIX is one of the oldest and most influential operating systems. Developed in the late 1960s at Bell Labs by AT&T, it was designed for multitasking and multi-user operations, mainly in high-end servers and enterprise environments. Unlike Windows or macOS, UNIX isn't something regular users install on their laptops. It's mainly used in corporate IT systems, banking, scientific institutions, and critical infrastructure. For instance, the U.S. National Weather Service uses UNIX-based systems to handle massive amounts of meteorological data. But UNIX comes at a cost, literally. A single user license can be over $1,400. So for a company with hundreds of users, deploying UNIX could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is why it's mostly limited to large organizations. BSD, short for Berkeley Software Distribution, is a Unix-based family of operating systems developed at the University of California, Berkeley during the 1970s. BSD isn't commonly found on consumer laptops or desktops. Instead, it powers things like firewalls, servers, and embedded systems. Examples include the backend of Netflix, PlayStation 4, and 5's operating systems, and networking tools like pfSense. It's popular in the tech community because of its efficient resource management, strong security, and reliability under heavy workloads. There are several BSD variants, including FreeBSD, OpenBSD, and NetBSD, each with its own set of features depending on the use case. BSD might not be mainstream, but behind the scenes, it keeps a lot of the digital world running smoothly.